everybody, I'm Acelegin. I have a pound of frozen venison, and I am not afraid to use it. Okay, before I get started, I'd like to report that my big sister, Christina J. Cox, is now subscribed to my channel. Yay! She's actually expecting a baby soon, which is cool because it means I get to be an uncle. I mean, I'm already an uncle, but now I get to be a double uncle. Also, my cousin's expecting. I'm not quite sure what that makes me. Anyway, welcome to part 3 of my top 10 Danielverse villains list. I already covered numbers 10 through 2, and I'll be doing number 1 now, but first I've got a few honorable mentions I want to get out of the way. I would have drawn pictures of them, but I'm just way too lazy. I excluded these guys from the main list for various reasons. So first of all, I have the fears. I didn't use them on this list because they aren't really mine. All the other villains on the list were created by me, for me, so that they could basically be dicks in my stories. But the fears are an open source thing created by multiple writers, which I've had the honor and privilege of using in my stories. And I just didn't feel right putting them on this list. Also, the Jack of All, aka *ampersand_arrow, was also excluded from the list for pretty much the same reasons. But if you've gotten very far into Dark Subconscious, you know that if it weren't for all that, he would definitely place on this list. He's kind of an asshole. I've also got some villains who just weren't quite good enough to make the list, such as the Thorned Prince, the Black Crow, Martyr Beta, Carlton Calloway, Dr. Welrick, Leopard, the Pied Piper, Pixel, Vase Verdeth, Black Vice, Nola Rowe, Haji, Diana Rose, and Enhanced Daniel. There's probably some I'm forgetting. If there are, let me know, I guess. Then there's some villains who were created by other writers, such as the Tailweaver, Richter, Rilek, Camazotz, Frog, Tisiphone, and the Hanging Man. Yeah, honorable mention to those guys, but they didn't quite make the cut. Sorry. I've decided to exclude characters who started off as villains but changed sides at some point. They would include Hideaki Kelteri, Alphonse and Estrin Saltone, Hellfire, David Calloway, Wildfire, Derek Quanford, Justin Fearon, Abdalin, and Isaac Ozalia. I might be forgetting some, but that's not a big deal. I've also got some villains who I've introduced recently, but they haven't had a chance yet to really earn a spot on this list. They would include Angelo Knox, the 12 Apostles, who consist of Adon, Matt Onry, Lashiel, Nikolai Wells, Joseph Krell, Lazarus Frayne, and 6 others who I haven't properly introduced. Then there's Azael the Enabler and the other 9 Daemon Lords. There's the Backer, Raut Rodriguez, Melior Monde, I think that's how it's pronounced, I'm not good with French, and De Sigia. Since I've got the ball rolling on Phase 2, they will be more of a threat in the future, so will some of the other villains I've mentioned, so there may come a time when I'll have to update this list, but for now, this is it. Okay, I think that's enough pointless babbling for now. Time to move on to the moment the 4 of you watching this have been waiting for. My number 1 Danielverse villain. It's me, everybody! That's right, I'm the number 1 Danielverse villain. Ever since I started writing the Danielverse, I've been bringing suffering to my protagonists. I put them through mental and physical trauma for my own personal amusement, and I've driven them all down roads of darkness. As a bit of an example, when someone pointed out to me that my self-insert was overpowered, my immediate response was to mutilate his arm. I made him shoot himself in the shoulder, then I had the rake cut it up, then I crushed all the bones with a tentacle dual disc. Yeah, that was kind of a weird post. Then I forced him to kill multiple alternate universe versions of himself so that he'd develop a guilt complex. Then I stripped him of his powers and slowly drove him to insanity over the course of a year. And let's not forget about all the other villains on this list. Where do you think they came from? Up here. They were spawned by my twisted, fucked up imagination. That not proof enough of my evilness? Well, then think about this. I blew up Malcator. That was all me. Why would I do such a thing? Well, I'll tell you. I had been planning out his death since the second arc of his blog. I was looking over some of the positive feedback he was getting, and I thought to myself, hey, people are actually starting to like this guy. I should kill him. So I spent the next 3 arcs building up to his inevitable explosion. He's gone now. I killed him, just to fuck with my audience. So there you go. I'm the king. I am the most horrible thing to ever happen to the Danielverse. I'm the best of the worst. I am the #1 Danielverse villain. What? You don't agree? You don't think I deserve the title? Okay, fine. The real winner is Sentinel. The Sentinel is another alternate version of Daniel Ferris. There's a lot of those. Gets hard to keep track sometimes. Years ago, he was trapped on the Path of Chaos and died there. The path brought him back to life to serve as its emissary. He gained the power to absorb the dead bodies of his alternate selves and add their powers onto his own. Using the Path of Chaos's dimension-warping powers, he began traveling to other universes, killing and acquiring the abilities of his other selves along the way. He did this for many years before finding an easier way to do it. He went to the Danielverse and tricked Daniel into triggering an event of a dimensional bleeding, which brought Red Daniel, Dark Daniel, and Enhanced Daniel into the Danielverse, where Sentinel anticipated that they would clash with and be killed by the regular Daniel. Dark Daniel and Red Daniel were both killed by Daniel's hand, and Enhanced Daniel was killed by the Fury. Sentinel seized the chance to collect their bodies, then he brought Daniel to the Path of Chaos so that he could kill him as well and gain his strength. However, Daniel, by sacrificing his powers and getting a bit of help from what was left of Red Daniel's consciousness, was able to win the fight and kill Sentinel. Had Sentinel been successful in assimilating Daniel, he would have had the power to bring chaos not only to the Danielverse, but all other universes that were close enough for him to travel to. He was extremely powerful and was pulling the strings on the entire Paradox arc. So there you go. The Sentinel is my choice for the #1 villain. If you guys disagree with that or think someone else should have won, then go ahead and leave your comment below. Also, let me know if you think I should do any more top 10 lists, because I honestly had a lot of fun with this and I kind of want to give it a few more tries with other topics. Anyway, I'm glad you all watched and hopefully enjoyed these videos, and I will see you all later. Peace out.